today to oppose Stephen Harper's agenda of perpetual war and his bombing campaign in Iraq, and I mean, we expect it to be expanded to Syria at some point. We're here today to demand that Canada stay out of this war. It's a continuation of a war that started in 2003 when George Bush, under false pretenses, illegally invaded Iraq and killed 1 million people. And we don't think that the Harper government should be supporting this at all. In 2003, we had 500,000 people across the country in 85 cities and towns demanding that we say no to the war in Iraq. And because of that, we scared Jean Chrétien and we made sure that we could actually stop Canada from going to war in Iraq. This time around, we need to do the same thing. We need Stephen Harper as well to be scared of Canadians and Canadian public opinion, which is overwhelmingly opposed to war. Sure, I mean, the shooting in Ottawa and the killing of the other soldier in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu is something that we oppose as a peace movement. We oppose any action that is going to kill innocent people. But what we're concerned about around this is the fact that the Harper government is going to use this. They're going to use it to enact legislation which is going to significantly curtail civil liberties for people in Canada. We know that the Harper government, for example, has already branded, for example, environmental groups, people who are coming from Indigenous communities who are opposed to the development of the tar sands and the development of the pipeline projects. They've already branded them terrorists, and now they want to have expanded powers under these new rules to be able to actually crack down on dissent. It's actually something that we as Canadian people should be really, really concerned about and need to stand up against. This is a government that is vindictive to any organization that has a different opinion of the world than they do. Somebody who's, for example, I mean, it's been the environmental charities that have been attacked most recently, whether that be through CRA audits or whether that be through the sort of policing of dissent that we have seen in places like Elsipogtog in New Brunswick. This is going to expand Stephen Harper's powers to be able to do so. We are saying, don't let that tragedy curtail civil liberties. Don't let that tragedy lead to more war. Well, yes, there's a concern as well because Harper has talked about the Australian model, and what's happened in Australia is, again, expanded police powers that have actually reached a point that are quite terrifying, including being able to pick people up without charge, and they're now actually talking about the possibility of enhanced interrogation of people who are being picked up without charge. This is something that we absolutely have to oppose. This is the actions of a police state. It's the kind of thing that you would expect to find under Hosni Mubarak in Egypt, when he ended up being overthrown by a revolution. We need to stand up in opposition to this here in Canada as well.